My wife hated that I was a forensic pathologist. She even had a pretty boy on the side. The night of our divorce, I immediately hooked up with that pretty boy's fiancée. I didn't expect her to be so beautiful. Long legs and a tiny waist. After a night of rolling in the sheets with her, I really didn't lose out. I thought after that one night, we'd never see each other again. But when I transferred to a new unit, she turned out to be the captain of the criminal police team. Xiao Ting glanced at me, her expression even colder. Forensic Yi, this is our bot, Captain Xiao. Captain Xiao, nice to meet you. His face was distant, as if he'd never met me before, acting all proper on the surface, but he'd been right next to me before. Xiao Ting shook my hand briefly, then tried to pull away, but I held on tight. He shot me a cold look. I subtly raised an eyebrow at him. He pulled his hand back. Forensic Yi. I hope your professional skills are up to par. Don't disappoint me. Did I disappoint you that night? Xiao Ting didn't look at me again. He strode off on his long legs, heading toward his office. I went back to the forensics department, familiarized myself with the new autopsy room, and was about to start working when my assistant Xiao Yang hurried over. Bro Chen, a fisherman, found a suitcase at Qingshan Lake. It had a decomposed body inside. At the suburban Qingshan Lake, when I arrived, Xiao Ting and the Tim were already there. From a distance, I could smell the stench. Xiao Ting was questioning the fisherman who found the suitcase. Forensic Yi, the smell is really strong. Can you handle it? Xiao Ting glanced at me from the corner of his eye, completely different from how he was that night. I was serious, calm, and focused at work. Captain Xiao asked, Forensic Yi, the body is this decomposed. Can you still identify it? The victim is female, aged 40 to 45. Height 160 to 165 centimeters. Time of death at least a year. The exact cause of death needs further examination back at the autopsy room. We need to wait for the body to be transported to the autopsy room for a full systematic autopsy and toxicology test to confirm. Xiao Meng, contact the city's hydrology department. Get the data on Qingshan Lake's water flow and water level changes over the past year to determine the time and location of the body dump. Xiao Che, immediately track the city's missing women from the past year. Screen for matches in age and height. Also, trace the source of the same type of suitcase. Everyone got busy. In the afternoon, Xiao Ting came to the forensics lab. Are the results out? They're out. The victim was first choked until unconscious, then hit on the head with a blunt object, causing fatal brain damage. Injuries to the hyoid and thyroid cartilage indicate severe violent behavior before death, but the fractures weren't enough to cause death by asphyxiation. Look here. Bone fragments are embedded in the skull. This shows he was repeatedly hit before death. First choked, then killed by a blunt object. This means the killer had a clear intent to murder, not a crime of passion. We'll need to do a 3D reconstruction of the skull to determine the approximate shape of the blunt object. We also need to extract trace residues from the bones to see if we can identify the type of weapon. Good work. It's my job. I was about to run more tests when my stomach suddenly growled loudly. It had been almost 7 hours since the case started this morning, and I hadn't eaten anything. Xiao Ting said softly, take a break. Go eat something first. Go eat. Hey, Captain Xiao. On what authority are you ordering me? As a hookup, a colleague, or the pretty boy's ex-fiancée's colleague? He walked off without looking back. I watched Xiao Ting's cold back and raised my foot to kick him. The next second, Xiao Ting seemed to have eyes in the back of his head. He suddenly turned around and caught me mid-kick. Forensic Yi seems to have a deep grudge against me. A grudge? That's rich. We had a deep connection. But you're acting like a complete stranger. I remember after that night, Forensic Yi said, he wouldn't bother me again. Afraid I'd get addicted? Or is it that your look at me isn't so innocent? What now, Captain Xiao? You're so cold and aloof now. It makes me want to clear you out. I'll say this one last time. I won't have any non-work relationships with colleagues. One-night stands or hookups are out. That's it. What now? I'm naturally rebellious. The more you do this, the more you try to push me away, act like nothing happened, the more I want to provoke you. Xiao Ting and I arrived at the cafeteria one after the other. Bod is here too. I nodded, got my food, and sat across from Xiao Ting. We chatted about the case while eating. To lighten the mood, Chen Jiao changed the subject. Forensic Yi, let's talk about something light. You're so handsome and skilled. Do you have a girlfriend? No. Oh, really? That's great. Our bot is single too. You too, hey. Who kicked me? Chen Jiao, don't play matchmaker. Eat. Bot, you're overreacting. You're not still into your ex-fiancé, are you? That guy looks slick and fake. He's not good enough for you, Chen Jiao. I told you to shut up and eat. Can't you hear? Chen Jiao didn't dare say more. Oh. I looked at the fierce Xiao Ting, and suddenly kicked him under the table. Xiao Ting didn't react at all, so I kicked him again. I'm full. Ah, bot, what's wrong? So irritable. You're not on your period, are you? After eating, I got a call from my buddy Xiai Bai. Bro, I'm so mad. I'm about to explode. Calm down. Xiai Bai slowly said, what happened? Who pissed you off? That bastard, that scumbag. I wish I could teleport in front of him right now, and tear him apart, chop him into pieces. I just saw that pretty boy's WeChat moments on my Alto Tsao. That trashy woman, Fu Niannian, she actually gave him a Rolex. You were married for so long. Did she ever give you anything decent? She never truly cared about you. Bro, listen to me. Delete Bai Pin's WeChat. I have nothing to do with Fu Niannian anymore. From the moment we got the divorce certificate, he's him, I'm me. Whoever he gives a Rolex to, whatever lovey-dovey stuff he posts, it's none of my business. You don't need to get angry over this. It's not worth it. He's blind. He let go of someone as good as you to go for that kind of trash. He'll regret it for sure. Definitely. After chatting with Xiai Bai for a bit, I went back to the forensics lab and worked overtime all night. I took the TET results to find Xiao Ting. Xiao Ting hadn't slept either. He was in the evidence room, examining the suitcase. Look at the material of this case, and this old-style riveting technique. It looks like handmade stuff from a small factory or an old hot case store from decades ago. Shall he find out which old hot K factories in and around the city produced similar suitcases, or leather goods factories? Pay special attention to those that have closed down or changed. Xiao He saw me when he walked out. He quickly greeted me. Forensic Yi, you're here. Are you looking for Captain Xiao? Xiao Ting turned to look at me. I stepped forward and handed him the report. The preliminary results from the all-nighter. Based on the 3D skull reconstruction and wound simulation, the blunt object that caused the fatal injury has a contact surface roughly 10 centimeters in diameter, round, with a certain curvature, and hard. Preliminary comparison matches the bottom of a common large crystal or glass ashtray. Also, deep in the clothing fibers, we found trace amounts of fragrance residue. After analysis, we identified a specific rose perfume formula, a very niche brand. The information you provided is very useful. I yawned in satisfaction. The follow-up visits, checks, and verifying leads are up to your criminal investigation team. I need to go catch up on sleep. I'm about to die from exhaustion. As I drove back, I saw Xiao Ting leading the team out for investigation. Track this number. Xiao Ting deployed the team. They found the purchase records for the niche perfume over the past 2 years. They screened for female consumers aged 40 to 45. The officers visiting old hot K workshops also found the list of custom suitcases from back then. After screening, they focused on a woman named Jiang Ning. Jiang Ning, female, 42 years old. A year ago, she left her social media, saying she was going abroad for treatment. Her accounts are still being updated. The AI Pi address shows overseas, but her husband, Su Banian, in the past year, has no record of leaving the country. Feedback from the community and relatives also shows no one knows the specifics of her going abroad for treatment. That's not normal. Xiao Ting handed me the community records for Jiang Ning. Please quickly compare the victim's dental features and pelvic shape with Jiang Ning's medical records. Oh cool. In the afternoon, I gave the results to Xiao Ting. We can confirm the victim is Jiang Ning. Forensic Yi confirmed the victim is Jiang Ning. Identifying the victim means our investigation has a clear direction and target. This is no longer an unidentified decomposed body case. It's a murder targeting a specific individual, Jiang Ning. Everyone, in 5 minutes. Meeting in the first conference room of the criminal investigation team. Jiang Ning, female, 42 years old. Before her death, She was a lecturer in the Fine Arts Department at Yeqing University, specializing in traditional Chinese painting. 3 years ago, Jiang Ning was on a road trip with her parents. They were in a serious car accident. Jiang Ning survived, but the tendons in her right wrist were severely severed. She basically lost the ability to do fine painting. That was a devastating blow for a Chinese painting lecturer. A year ago, Jiang Ning planned to leave the country, citing going abroad for treatment. Records show she bought a ticket, checked in, and went through security. But combined with the forensic estimate of time of death, Jiang Ning likely changed her mind at the last minute before boarding, or was forced to change her plans and didn't board. The so-called going abroad has been a facade since then. Jiang Ning's husband, Su Banian, is also a professor at Yeqing University. Jiang Ning didn't go abroad, and she's been missing for a year. As her husband, Su Banian didn't report it to the police, and Jiang Ning's social media updates every few days. Only her killer could have her phone. Currently, Su Banian is the prime suspect. Su Banian was brought to the police station for questioning. Xiao Ting walked into the interrogation room. Days of staying up late made his face even colder. Su Banian, middle-aged, was well-preserved. No beer belly, no baldness. He had an intellectual, refined air about him. Officer, what's going on? Why was I suddenly brought to a place like this? Do you know that your wife, Jiang Ning, was murdered almost a year ago? Impossible. That's absolutely impossible. She's abroad getting treatment. Yesterday afternoon, she even sent me a WeChat message, saying everything was fine. You're lying. When you said impossible just now, your eyes frequently moved to the upper left. In behavioral analysis, that usually means the brain is constructing an image, not recalling a real scene. The muscle on the left side of your mouth is unnaturally stiff and pulled down. That's a sign of someone faking surprise, a flaw that appears when trying to control facial expressions. Your surprise is fake. I really don't know what you're talking about. Eye movements, stiff mouth. I'm just too shocked, too upset. My wife is gone. I'm suffering more than anyone. How can you use this to accuse me? You said Jiang Ning has been in touch via WeChat. Have you 6DO called? Okay, let me ask you. How can you be sure that the person typing to you on the other end of the phone is Jiang Ning herself? If she really just went abroad to rest, why, in the entire past year, as her husband, do you have no record of leaving the country? No ticket to visit her? Not even an attempt to 6DO call her to see her condition? Does that make sense, Professor Su? After that incident 3 years ago, she became a different person. If I got close, she'd get annoyed and tell me to go away. I was worried, but seeing her lie that, I was afraid that if I said one more word, she'd lose even the last bit of will to lie. The day she left, I personally took her to the airport. I watched her go through security and walk toward the boarding gate. If I'd known this would happen, I would have stopped her even if it killed me, or gone with her. Xiao Ting expressionlessly threw the suitcase file in front of Su Banian. This suitcase, 30 years ago, Jiang Ning's parents specially ordered it from the old workshop Yonggu Hot K as her dowry. Now it's been found at the bottom of Qingshan Lake. Inside is Jiang Ning's highly decomposed body. The suitcase disappeared from your home. Tell me. You knew all about it. Where did you put that suitcase? Maybe it was in storage. Or maybe I just didn't pay much attention. I really don't know. I always thought my wife was still alive. Now you're suddenly telling me she's dead, and in that suitcase. I'm more shocked and in pain than anyone. I lop her. Ningning's life is more important than my own. How could I hurt her? If I had even a hint of wanting to harm her, may I die a horrible death. Without solid evidence, even with special approval, we can only hold him for 48 hours. That means, we have to find strong evidence. Within 48 hours, Xiao Ting and Cheng Wei went to Yeqing University. They found the superiors of Jiang Ning and Su Banian. They were the model couple at our school. Professor Su came from a poor background. I heard he relied on Professor Zhang's family to get through college. After his career was stable, he married Professor Jiang. Later, when they found out Jiang Ning couldn't easily have children due to health reasons, he never complained once. He was really good to Professor Jiang. We all saw it. Xiao Ting also visited the neighbors of Su Banian and Jiang Ning. Oh, comrade, Professor Su is a top-notch, good man. After Jiang Ning's parents died in the car accident, and her hand was ruined, her temper became unbearable. We often heard her throwing things at home, yelling at Professor Su, cursing him terribly. We heard it several times. Cheng Meng was furious. This Su Banian is a grateful husband at school. And a pushover who never fights back or talks back in the neighbor's eyes. This good husband, good man image is rock solid. Exactly. That's why no one would suspect him. Xiao Ting took out his phone and called the tech department. Now, trace the AI pie of Jiang Ning's social media Otsao updates. Someone must be faking the AI pie to show overseas, but it's actually domestic. Go Trek Chang Meng. Trek Su Bainian's university archives. Focus on whether he took any computer-related courses. At the police station, as Xiao Ting was about to go in, he caught a glimpse of a young girl out of the corner of his eye. She was standing by the flower bed, her eyes red. Xiao Ting walked over. In a calm voice, he asked, "Hello, I work here. Are you here to handle something at the police station? I'm a student at Yeqing University. I heard that Professor Jiang Ning was murdered a year ago. Is it true? Tell me it's not true. Are you a student of Professor Jiang Ning?" "My name is Xia Xinran. I was a student under Professor Jiang. My family is poor. I almost had to drop out because I couldn't afford tuition. Professor Jiang found out. She quietly paid my tuition and encouraged me. She was such a good person, the best teacher. How could this? It's crowded here. It's not convenient to talk. Come inside with me. We'll find a quiet place to talk slowly." Xiao Ting led the girl into the station. He poured her a glass of water. After she calmed down a bit, Xiao Ting continued, "Student Xia, I'm sorry to tell you, Professor Jiang Ning was indeed murdered a year ago. We're investigating the case. Now, I need you to tell me as accurately as possible. When was the last time you saw Professor Jiang Ning? Under what circumstances?" At that time, the college had a precious exchange student spot to France. Professor Jiang thought highly of me. She strongly recommended me to the department leaders. Originally, the department had almost decided on me. But then, somehow, the spot suddenly changed. Professor Su recommended his student, Lin Qianqian. The last time I saw Professor Jiang, I saw her having a fierce argument with Professor Su about the exchange student spot. Lin Qianqian. You said the one who took your exchange student spot was Professor Su's student, Lin Qianqian? What were her academic grades like? And what was her relationship with Professor Jiang Ning? Xia Xinran wiped her tears. My grades were first in the year. Lin Qianqian's grades were around the top 20 in the year. Because of Professor Su's recommendation, the exchange student spot went to Lin Qianqian. I was in the studio and heard Professor Jiang very agitated. She shouted at Professor Su Bainian, "If you dare let Lin Qianqian go, I'll ruin you." The information you've provided is very important. Thank you, student Xia. Can I see Professor Jiang one last time? I want to say goodbye. The case is still under investigation. If you're willing, you can attend the farewell as a student. Thank you, Officer Xiao. I hope you can find the truth soon. Let Professor Jiang rest in peace. After Xia Xinran left, Xiao Ting called in Songqing, immediately Trek Yeqing University, for a female student named Lin Qianqian. All information related to her. I need it. In the interrogation room, Xiao Ting walked in. Su Bainian barely lifted his eyelids. Officer Xiao, sorry to trouble you to come again. But if I remember correctly, there's only 1 hour left of the 48 hours. You haven't found any evidence, and you've kept me locked up. My lawyer will be here soon. When I get out, I'll definitely file a complaint. Xiao Ting sat expressionlessly opposite Su Bainian. Jiang Ning's parents supported you through college when you had nothing. Jiang Ning stood by you without hesitation when you had nothing. She supported you all the way. She even gave up her chance to be a distinguished professor for you. Su Bainian, and her end was to be killed by you, stuffed into a suitcase, and sunk to the bottom of a cold lake. Su Bainian, do you have no remorse at all? Officer Xiao, I really don't know what you're talking about. Debt, my in-laws helped me. Ningning was good to me. I remember all that. That's why I love her and cherish her even more. I still don't understand how she was killed. I'm in more pain than any of you. He started crying again, fake tears. I've been hoping you'd find the truth soon, to give me and Ningning some closure. But you've investigated and found nothing. You just keep me locked up here, questioning me over and over. What are you trying to do? Abuse your power? Fatigue interrogation? Trying to force a confession? This guy's conscience is eaten by dogs. Even a cold-blooded animal would call him an ancestor. Officer Xiao, you're not really unable to find the real killer. So you're just going to grab anyone and pin this huge crime on me, the devoted husband. To close the case quickly, right? Faced with Su Bainian's provocation, Xiao Ting's face showed no emotion. He threw a stack of photos onto the interrogation table. Take a look at this. Su Bainian looked down and froze. The photo shows Lin Qianqian holding a child, walking out of some residential area with his mother. On this child's birth certificate, the father column has your name written. Su Bainian, Jiang Ning had already discovered your affair with Lin Qianqian. She even knew about her pregnancy. You were afraid she'd expose your dirty secret and ruin your reputation. So you killed her. No, I didn't kill anyone, even if I had an affair. It's just a moral issue, a lifestyle problem. My wife's death has nothing to do with me. Just then, a tech officer came over. Captain Xiao, we found Jiang Ning's phone in a rental house in the western suburb village, rented under Su Bainian's father's name. We checked Su Bainian's college records. He did take computer science courses. He's especially good at virtual positioning and data masking. Run fingerprint analysis on that phone immediately. Su Bainian, fingerprints don't lie. Your fake alibi covering up the crime will be exposed soon. Su Bainian's emotions collapsed instantly. He slumped into the chair, his hands pressed against his forehead. His voice was hoarse. I never meant to kill her. She kept pushing me, wouldn't let us go. I really loved Jiang Ning once. I was a poor kid from the mountains. We've known each other since high school. Back then, her grades were way better than mine. She saw I was struggling and took the initiative to help me with problems. Later, I got into college, but my family couldn't afford the tuition. Jiang Ning went to her parents and got them to sponsor me through college. Back then, I would have done anything to be good to Jiang Ning, to repay her family's kindness. We stayed on as teachers and got married. Everyone called us the perfect couple, a match made in heaven. But no one knew how miserable and stifled I felt inside. Her paintings won awards every other day. She became an associate professor before me. Because Su Bainian's success today, getting out of the mountains, staying at the university, all of it was thanks to Jiang Ning and her family's connections. Every time we visited her parents, they were polite on the surface. But between the lines, it was always Ning Ning married down, you married up. In their eyes, I was always just a poor kid who only stood up because of their charity. I couldn't even argue with her in that house. It would be called ingratitude. That feeling, being trapped under an invisible net, tightening more and more, suffocating. I endured all that grievance, all that frustration. It was what I deserved. But there was one thing I couldn't stand. She couldn't have children. The doctor clearly said it was her problem. But you know what she told me then? It's okay. Bainian, will just be child-free. Easy for her to say. My hometown is a traditional mountain village. Every time I called home, my mother would cry and say, what sin did she commit in her past life? I thought, I love her. I forced myself to accept this marriage. As I got older, seeing colleagues buy photos on social media, seeing my mother secretly wipe away tears, it hurt me so much inside. Lin Xianxian was a college student from my village. Her family was even poorer. I sponsored her. Later, she got into Yeqing University, became my student. She admired me a lot. She said I taught better than any other professor. She also said I shouldn't be overshadowed by Professor Jiang Yun's halo. To me, Lin Xianxian was a hardworking, grateful, good kid. I did pay her a bit of special attention. After all, she came from my hometown, and I sponsored her. But back then, I never thought about having an affair. Until that incident 3 years ago. My mother brought relatives from the mountains to visit the city. That day, Jiang Ning happened to be busy and couldn't host them. So my mother bought groceries herself, said she'd cook a simple meal at home. We had a dog at home, a stray Jiang Ning picked up somewhere 7 years ago. Usually, the dog was well behaved, but that day, it wouldn't stop barking at one guest, even bared its teeth. The guest got annoyed by the barking, and kicked the dog. Maybe kicked too hard, the dog passed out. The guest egged my mother on, saying, since the dog's out cold anyway, why not butcher it for hot pot, to liven things up. Later, Jiang Ning came home. The first thing she did was look for the dog. She couldn't find it, so my mother said the dog was naughty, and ran away on its own. Jiang Ning didn't believe it. She checked the living room security footage, and found the truth on the camera. After learning her dog had been eaten, she blew up, screaming and yelling. Relentlessly, she called my family over, forced my mother and relatives to apologize. Not only that, she kicked them out, and threw my mother and relatives out of the house. That made me lose so much face. Back in the village, people would gossip about me. She kept saying she loved me, but over such a trivial matter, she didn't save me any face at all. My mother got sick from the anger, and she didn't even bother to visit her hometown. She and her parents looked down on me from the bottom of their hearts. Was a dog really that important? She couldn't have kids, and I never blamed her once. If her dog hadn't bitten my relative first, would my mother have stewed it? Xiao Ting frowned deeply. Jiang Ning raised that dog for 7 years. It shows she's a very loving person. Maybe what she looked forward to most after work was the dog bringing her slippers to the door, and taking it for a walk after dinner. Your mother and relatives stewed her dog. Did you ever think about how much that hurt her? I know she was upset. I told her I'd get her another one. I could buy her a new dog, but she didn't want one. Dogs understand human nature, but you don't. You're worse than an animal. If I'm an animal, why hasn't heaven taken me away, instead of taking Jiang Ning's parents? That means even heaven is fed up with them. They said they treated me like a son. But deep down, they looked down on me, and looked down on my parents in the countryside. After Jiangning's parents died, and she injured her wrist, unable to paint anymore, she became emotionally unstable. Over the smallest things, she'd lash out and argue with me. I was fed up. That New Year, she refused to go back to my hometown with me. I went alone to visit relatives and friends. All the aunties gathered around, and started talking about our family being childless. Their words, veiled and sharp, stabbed at my parents' faces, and stabbed at my heart. My mother gave me an ultimatum. If she never got to hold a grandchild in her lifetime, she'd die with regret. Around that time, Lin Xianxian was also back in the mountains on break. I was in a bad mood. Home was an icebox. My hometown was a pressure cooker. Only Lin Xianxian knew I was feeling down. She'd come over to my place now and then to chat with me. Lin Xianxian had a sweet tongue. She knew how to comfort people. Every time I was unhappy, she'd soothe me with her soft voice. That night, I drank too much, and emboldened by the alcohol, I crossed the line with Lin Xianxian. Afterward, Lin Xianxian lay in my arms, telling me not to blame myself. She wouldn't ruin my family. She said she'd admired me for a long time. As long as she could be with me, she'd even be willing to be the other woman who wouldn't lie a young, pretty, gentle, and adoring confidant. Once it happened again and again. Lin Xianxian and I carefully hid it from everyone. She never made excessive demands, just quietly stayed by my side. I never thought about divorce. After all, Jiang Ning and I were seen as the perfect couple. Jiang Ning's family had suffered such a huge tragedy. If I left her then, I'd just be called a heartless man. I wanted to keep my outside affairs going, while maintaining a hep pie home. Lin Xianxian was my student. No one would suspect our relationship. 2 years passed like that. The obedient, well-behaved Lin Xianxian suddenly got bold. While Jiang Ning was on a business trip, she secretly came to Jiang Ning's and my home. She put on Jiang Ning's nightgown, sprayed Jiang Ning's perfume, and lay on Jiang Ning's bed waiting for me. She said that sneaky feeling of fearing discovery was the most thrilling. And just as Lin Xianxian said, the thrill of the affair was intoxicating. Whenever Jiang Ning wasn't home, I'd call Lin Xianxian over. Jiang Ning had a camera in the living room, but I knew computers. Every time Lin Xianxian came, I'd modify the program in advance, so Jiang Ning wouldn't notice anything unusual. But you can't cover up the truth forever. Jiang Ning liked collecting niche perfume brands. Once, Lin Xianxian came and took one of the bottles. Jiang Ning searched for a long time but couldn't find it. Later, Lin Xianxian came to my office. Jiang Ning smelled that perfume on me. Jiang Ning didn't confront me directly. She calmly said she had a business trip. I thought she was really going, and brought Lin Xianxian home that night. But what I didn't expect, while I was being intimate with Lin Xianxian, Jiang Ning suddenly came back. She caught us red-handed. Jiang Ning slapped both me and Lin Xianxian a few times. I knelt and begged Jiang Ning to give me another chance. Jiang Ning made me write a confession letter. At that time, I still didn't intend to kill Jiang Ning, but as luck would have it, Lin Xianxian found out she was pregnant. When my mother heard the news, she threatened to kill herself, and told me to find a way to keep Lin Xianxian's by. I had no choice. I had to pressure Lin Xianxian into an arrangement to have the child. For that, Jiang Ning and I had a huge fight. She even threatened to ruin my reputation. During that time, Jiang Ning didn't come to our new house. She stayed in the old house. I was afraid Jiang Ning would really expose Lin Xianxian and me. I went back to beg her again. But the moment I opened the door, I saw her sitting in front of the TV. The screen was playing footage of Lin Xianxian and me in the bedroom. She glared at me with a twisted face, hatred in her eyes. Subanian, what do you think would happen if I put this 6DO on the big screen at the school anniversary? What would happen to you? Your image as a good husband and professor. The social reputation you've built for over a decade would be destroyed in an instant. I rushed at her, grabbed the phone from her hand, and deleted the 6DO. Seeing the panic flash in my eyes, she sneered, now you're scared? Lin Xianxian wearing my nightgown, spraying my perfume, cheating with you. Why weren't you scared then, Subanian? I've been with you since I was a teenager. Now we have everything. And you cheated on me. You're heartless, you're shameless. How dare you? Do you have any shame? If you had shame, would you have been with me as a teenager? Would you have insisted on marrying me even if it meant lowering yourself? When Jiang Ning heard my words, she slapped me. Without me and my parents' support, could you have made it this far, Subanian? How could you betray me? Her words stabbed my fragile pride and defenses. My eyes flashed red, my face twisted. I grabbed her by the throat. She struggled violently, but my hands were like steel cables around her. If she hadn't pushed me to the edge, I wouldn't have choked her to death. Later, still not satisfied, I hit her on the head a few times with an ashtray. When I calmed down, I was afraid of being caught, so I put her body in a suitcase and dumped it. After confessing all this, Subanian couldn't help but sob loudly. His cries were filled with countless complex emotions, hating himself for killing the one who walked with him from darkness to light. I watched the entire interrogation. My feelings were mixed. Women really shouldn't rescue a man from poverty. It might not bring gratitude, but resentment and betrayal instead, especially those with strong pride, who don't see their place. The Phoenix men. Once they gain power, they forget their original intentions. Subanian and Jiangning are the classic example. Jiangning was more outstanding than Subanian. Her family was better off than his. Subanian was already unbalanced, already under pressure. And Subanian's mother, a village woman from the mountains, traditional in thinking and oddly confident, thinking her son got into college and left the mountains, all on his own. She wouldn't be grateful to Jiangning and her family. She'd think her son was incredibly amazing, and that Jiangning was the one who married up, especially since Jiangning had a fatal flaw. She couldn't have children, so she felt she could do whatever she wanted. She stewed Jiangning's dog of 7 years, and felt justified, thinking she was right. It was just an animal. He walked out of the interrogation room, and said to his team members, "Everyone's been working hard lately. No overtime today. Go home early and rest." I was about to head back to the forensics office to clock out. Just a few steps in, I saw a tall figure approaching Xiao Ting. "Captain Xiao, Brother Cheng. His name is Suibai. He's from the intelligence center. Before you came, he was the grass of our unit. After you arrived, the title of grass definitely goes to you. Don't bother with that grass stuff." Brother Cheng is right. I saw Suibai follow Xiao Ting into her office. Our bot is really popular. I wonder what spell her fiancé cast on her. Out of all her suitors, she only has eyes for that vain fiancé who looks down on her. A lot of people are chasing your bot. Yeah. Suibai, the grass, needless to say, every time he sees our bot, his eyes sparkle. Before that, there was a super rich guy she rescued from a kidnapping. Our bot saved him. Afterward, he wanted to marry her to repay the favor. He sent 99 roses every day, and treated our whole office to big meals. Our bot directly warned him, if he came near her again, she'd sue him for harassment. I can imagine that scene. That's definitely something Xiao Ting, with her cold and aloof personality, would say. "Jiao, don't envy your bot. You're pretty good looking too. Someday, I'll introduce you to some handsome guys." I'll thank Brother Cheng in advance then. After clocking out, I went to the supermarket. I've been too busy since moving into my rented apartment. I haven't had a home-cooked meal. I carried my bags into the elevator. Just as the doors were closing, someone pressed the button outside. The doors opened again. When Xiao Ting saw him appear, a flicker of surprise crossed my eyes. I saw Xiao Ting not even glance at me, so I pretended not to know him. Why didn't he press the floor button? Does he lie on the same floor as me? Could he know I lie here? Aren't you not supposed to be friends with colleagues? You cold, aloof bastard. My apartment is on the 6th floor. When the elevator arrived, I stepped out first, keeping an eye on Xiao Ting's movements from the corner of my eye. Sure enough, he followed me out. After walking a few steps down the hall, I suddenly turned to face her. Xiao Ting. Maybe she didn't expect me to turn around. Before she could stop, she bumped right into my chest. Xiao Ting quickly stepped back a few paces. Seeing her avoid me I was a snake. I was both annoyed and amused. I put down my bags and took a few steps forward. Xiao Ting didn't back away anymore. She looked up at me. "What are you doing?" I looked down at her. Light from the window streamed in, falling on her cold face, giving it a fragile look. Remembering that night's experience, I licked my lips lightly. Her delicate brows furrowed almost imperceptibly. "Yi Chen, be serious." I looked at the woman's starry eyes, as if hiding something. I was just remembering the image of you eating cherries. The woman's cheeks flushed, her voice trembling. Remembering that night's experience, if it weren't for the identical appearance, I'd wonder if he had a split personality. "What are you pretending for? Aren't you here to see me? Aren't you the one who doesn't make friends with benefits with colleagues? Why did you follow me here?" I didn't expect Captain Xiao to be so forward, coming right to my door. "Let go of me." I saw Xiao Ting walk to the apartment opposite mine, entered the patgut and went inside. The door slammed shut, and I was dumbfounded. Xiao Ting hadn't followed me here. She actually lived across from me. My mind was buzzing. My face burned bright red. I took a deep breath, picked up my bags from the floor, and quickly ran into my own apartment. I ran into the bathroom, and splashed cold water on my face. After a while, the heat on my face finally subsided. During dinner, I chatted with my buddy Xiaobai for a bit. Xiaobai said he'd blocked by pin. They say lop is lie oxygen, but I think Funyanyan is lie paraquat. Whoever touches her is doomed. Bro, you really need to get over it. Don't hate all women because of one bad one. I replied, I'm totally over it. As long as a woman is pretty, she's worth dating. But marrying one? That's a huge loss. Don't worry, my mom called and told me to come home for dinner this weekend. Mom. Yeah, got it. This weekend, right? Oh cool, I'll come for dinner. After hanging up, I was about to continue chatting with Xiaobai when I suddenly noticed the message I replied to wasn't in my chat with Xiaobai. I exited the chat window and saw the work group had 99 plus new messages. I clicked to take a look and was stunned. I had accidentally sent that message to the work group and now I couldn't unsend it. The group exploded over my comment. I was mortified, wanting to die. Is it too late to leave the group now? I scrolled through the chat history. One comment caught my attention. Just don't go getting hotel rooms and tarnishing our police station's reputation. Don't bring shame to our station. I twitched my mouth in anger. Why such hostility towards me? Forget it. I just got to this station. No need to argue with anyone in the group. I remembered I had added Cheng Lei and a few others on WeChat, but hadn't added Xiao Ting yet. I found Xiao Ting's WeChat in the group, wrote my name in the note, and sent her a friend request. Having WeChat would make work communication easier. I went to the kitchen to wash the dishes. After washing up, I checked my phone. Xiao Ting still hadn't accepted my friend request. I hung my washed clothes on the balcony, then took a shower. I checked my phone again. She still hadn't accepted. I started to get a little annoyed. What does this woman mean, deliberately not adding me? I didn't want to guess blindly. I went straight to the apartment across from mine and knocked. After a few knocks, the door opened. The woman had probably just showered. Her tight clothes outlined her figure. Remembering that night's scene, I had something to say. Why are you so cold? Are you sexually frustrated? Don't touch me, ha. Why are you pretending we don't know each other? I looked at his serious expression and found it a bit amusing. I know every mole on your hip bone. I don't have any moles on my hip bone. Then show me. Let me see if there are any. He reached out a finger and pressed it against his chest as I leaned in. Yi Chen, that won't work on me. Haha. You seemed pretty into that bowl of food. Shameless man. He was almost amused to the point of anger. Didn't you say it was the two chi of Mars and Venus? What, trying to back out now? Stop messing around. I'm not interested in you. Not interested. Then why were you so forward that day? You're all talk and no action. Why did you come to see me? I picked up my phone and sent you a friend request on WeChat. It's been over an hour. Did you deliberately not accept it, or are you pretending not to see it? Even if we're not friends, we still need to communicate about work on WeChat, right? With that, I leaned in close to Xiao Ting's ear. Or does Captain Xiao want to disobey orders? Xiao Ting pressed herself against the doorframe. Her gaze swept over my abs. Images she shouldn't have thought of came to mind. A wave of heat suddenly washed over her. She pushed me away with force. Accept it soon. My straight nose nearly hit the door. That woman has quite a temper. I waited nearly half an hour in the apartment before she accepted my request, cold and proud, just like a cat. In a deep, dark alley, a seriously injured man ran frantically ahead. Several men followed closely behind him. He was out of breath from running, but in the end, they caught him. In the dead of night, only the man's screams could be heard. The man lay in the cold woods, with large bloodstains spreading across his body. His pupils dilated, and with a loud crash, a thunderclap outside the window jolted me awake. I sat up abruptly in bed. Cold sweat soaked my pajamas. My heart felt like it was about to leap out of my chest. Xiao Ting was half asleep when she heard a knock on the door. She hadn't rested well from the recent case, and had finally managed to get a few hours of sleep. Being woken up again made her irritable. After the knocking stopped, she thought I had gone back to my apartment across the hall. But then a 6DO call rang out. Xiao Ting didn't answer. She got up and walked to the front door. Yi Chen, can you not? Xiao Ting frowned and asked, what's wrong with you? Captain Xiao. Can I sleep here tonight? No. I won't do anything to you. I just want you to keep me company. Xiao Ting's eyes held a hint of scrutiny. Don't tell me that you, a forensic pathologist, are also scared of me. Seeing that she had finally stopped shutting me out, I quickly walked inside. Xiao Ting pointed to the guest room. Sleep in this room. I ignored Xiao Ting and walked straight into the master bedroom. Seeing me boldly enter the master bedroom, Xiao Ting ran after me. Yi Chen, I said I don't sleep with colleagues. Captain Xiao, why is your mind always in the gutter? I didn't say I wanted to do anything with you. Don't flatter yourself. A man knocks on my door in the middle of the night, sleeps in my master bedroom, and tells me not to overthink it. Don't worry. I'm in a bad mood tonight. I won't bother you anymore. Either sleep in the bed with me, or sleep on the floor. In your dreams. I'll sleep in the guest room. Another thunderclap boomed outside the window. My face turned even paler. Captain Xiao. For the sake of our past friendship, will you stay with me? The woman hesitated for a moment, then turned and walked into the walk-in closet. She grabbed a blanket and laid it out on the floor by the bed. I watched Xiao Ting prefer the floor over sleeping in the bed with me. I was so angry I just went to sleep. Sooner or later, I'll make you beg to sleep with me. The lights went out, and the room fell into darkness, but soon, I moved from the bed to her floor mat. Xiao Ting, just as she was about to kick me out, I wrapped my arms around her. Don't push me away. 2 years ago, my brother secretly came back for my wedding, but he was unfortunately tracked by criminals who suspected his identity. They brutally hurt him, and dumped his body in the wilderness like trash. My brother was an undercover agent. If he hadn't come back to give me a wedding gift, he wouldn't have been targeted. Those vicious criminals would rather kill the innocent than let any suspicion go. That criminal organization hasn't been wiped out yet. Actually, a year ago, I applied to my superiors for an undercover mission. But I wasn't qualified enough yet. My boss said I needed another year or so of experience before I could undergo specialized undercover training. You're braver than I thought. Peaceful times always require someone to charge ahead. My brother is my role model. I hope one day I can catch the criminals who killed my brother with my own hands. I see. And you, Xiao Ting? Why did you choose this line of work? If it's not convenient to say, don't. Xiao Ting closed her eyes, hiding the emotions in them. For a very important person. I immediately perked up my ears. I feel like there's a she-to-re here. No more to tell. Yi Chen, that night at the bar was just an accident. I won't sleep with you. You'd better give up that idea of toying with my heart. Toying with her? Which I saw that. I just wanted to. I thought I wouldn't be able to sleep tonight. But smelling his familiar scent, my eyelids grew heavy. And eventually, they slowly closed. When I woke up in the morning, Xiao Ting was no longer beside me. I folded Xiao Ting's blanket and left the room. Passing by the kitchen, I saw Xiao Ting, with her slender waist and long legs, standing at the counter making breakfast. Wow, Captain Xiao can cook breakfast too? It looks pretty good. Take it back to your own apartment to eat. I raised an eyebrow. Can't I eat it here with you? No. Do you hate me that much, Yi Chen? Do you think you're so charming? That every woman you flirt with will fall for you? What's wrong with you? Did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed? You didn't fall for it? Then how did you end up sleeping with me that night? You forced me. You're so confident. So why did your ex-wife cheat on you? Get out. Fine, I'll get out. Do you think I care that much about you? I stormed off angrily. I pulled myself together and went to work. Almost late, I entered the office building and quickly walked to the elevator to press the button. There were quite a few people in the elevator, including the woman I had argued with this morning. When she saw me enter the elevator, she didn't even glance my way. I didn't look at her either. Chen Jiao, in the corner of the elevator, waved to greet me. Brother Yi Chen. You look so handsome today. Thanks. I ordered some coffee. I'll treat you all later. When we got out of the elevator, Xiao Ting and I still didn't look at each other. The coffee's here. Help yourselves. Everyone in the forensics department and the criminal investigation unit has one. Chen Jiao walked into Xiao Ting's office with a cup of coffee. But, Brother Yi Chen is really kind-hearted and super rich. He treated us all to brand name coffee. When you didn't look at each other in the elevator this morning, I could tell something was off between you and Brother Yi Chen. Did you two have a fight? Xiao Ting shot a cold glare at Chen Jiao. Can't I afford my own coffee? Do I have to drink his? But, that's not what I meant. I was just curious. Brother Yi-chin hasn't been at our unit long. How did you two end up in a conflict? Stop overthinking. It's really good. But, can we close the Jiangning case? Hold off on the closing report for now. I feel like something is missing from Su Bainian's confession. I leaned against the office doorframe with my coffee, raised an eyebrow at that, and walked in. I placed a TET report in front of her. Funny, I feel the same way. This is the result of the carpet fiber analysis taken from the corner of Su Bainian's study. It matches the fibers inside the suitcase with Jiang Ning's body, and there's a bit of Lin Qianxian's nail glue residue on the fibers. Xiao Ting picked up the report and flipped through it quickly. You mean, Lin Qianxian was also involved in the murder? I nodded. The TET data in the report says so. Su Bainian said he killed her in a fit of rage, but this fiber residue proves that on the night of the crime, Lin Qianxian was also in the old house. She wasn't a bystander, she was an accomplice. Prepare the interrogation room immediately. We're bringing in Lin Qianxian. Bring all the evidence now. Xiao Ting immediately interrogated Lin Qianxian. At first, she pretended to be innocent. She said he tricked her into just scaring Sister Jiang Ning. But when Xiao Ting presented the nail glue residue and the surveillance footage of her near the old house during the time of the crime, her psychological defenses crumbled instantly. She slumped in her chair and confessed everything. It turned out that on the night of the crime, Lin Qianxian had been hiding in the second bedroom of the old house. She heard Jiang Ning and Su Bainian arguing, and even saw Jiang Ning pull out the cheating 6DO. So she quietly grabbed the crystal ashtray from the living room and handed it to Su Bainian. And while Jiang Ning was struggling as she was being choked, Lin Qianxian held her down tightly. After Jiang Ning died, she also helped Su Bainian put the body into the suitcase and clean up the scene. The evidence was solid. Su Bainian and Lin Qianxian were formally arrested for intentional homicide. They await the full force of the law. Yi Cheng University issued a public notice expelling her. When her parents found out, they couldn't hold their heads up in the village. Lin Qianxian's child will also grow up without the company of their biological parents. The moment we learned the outcome, everyone in the team breathed a sigh of relief. The pent-up frustration was gone. This feeling of satisfaction was more real than solving any other case. The Jiang Ning case was officially closed, but my relationship with Xiao Ting was still tense. Qin Jiao and the others noticed and kept it in mind, always looking for a chance to reconcile us. But each time, Xiao Ting's cold glare shut them down. Life went on, neither good nor bad. Half a month later, the bureau received a tough case. A male body was found in an abandoned factory on the outskirts. The victim was a fugitive involved in multiple drug trafficking cases, and this case was linked to the criminal organization that killed my brother. My superiors finally approved my undercover application. I was to pose as a black market doctor, infiltrate the criminal organization, and gather evidence. The overall commander of this operation was Xiao Ting. Late at night before the operation, Xiao Ting called me to her office. Come in. Captain Xiao, you wanted to see me? Under the light, her features softened. She was no longer the cold, stern captain she usually was. Yi Chen, this operation is very dangerous. You must protect yourself. Put safety first in everything. Don't worry. Your forensic pathologist is tough. Besides, with Captain Xiao backing me up outside, how could I let anything happen? Who's yours? Be serious. Take this. If anything happens, send a signal immediately. Life undercover was hard. The head of the criminal organization was extremely suspicious. He tested me several times, even making me dissect a traitor within their ranks, to verify my identity. Every time I was in danger, thinking of Xiao Ting waiting on the periphery, and of my brother's tragic death, I gritted my teeth and held on. After 3 months, I finally gathered the core evidence against the criminal organization, and figured out their trading bases. The takedown operation was set for a rainy night, the same kind of weather as the day my brother was killed. The trading site was full of ambushes. Xiao Ting led the team in a frontal assault, while I coordinated from the inside. Freeze. Nobody move. In the chaos, the head of the criminal organization recognized me. He swung a knife at me. At that critical moment, Xiao Ting rushed over and took the blow for me. The blade cut through her uniform, leaving a long gash on her arm. My eyes turned red. I flipped the leader onto the ground, and punched him in the face again and again, until the police pulled me off. Looking at the wound on Xiao Ting's arm, my heart ached terribly. Are you stupid? Why didn't you dodge? But she just smiled. reached up, and wiped the blood off my face. I'm the captain. Protecting my Tim is my duty. And you're not just a Tim member. I looked down at her, my eyes full of sincerity. Xiao Ting, from the night we met at the bar after the divorce, to working together on the corpse case at Qingshan Lake, and through these 3 months, I've thought about you every single day. I thought about coming back safely to see you. The person in my heart has always been you. I'm not trying to play games with you, Xiao Ting. I want to be with you. For the rest of my life. Xiao Ting's eyes instantly reddened. She turned her head away, but I gently turned her face back. I leaned in and kissed her. She didn't push me away. Instead, she wrapped her arms around my neck, returning the long overdue kiss. The rainy night wind blew, carrying the rain, but it couldn't blow away the warmth in both their hearts. The criminal organization was completely eradicated. All the murderers who killed my brother were caught. The court sentenced them to death. Brother, your revenge is complete. Everyone who hurt you has gotten the punishment they deserved. Now I can finally let go of my obsession. And lie well. Xiao Ting stood beside me, gently holding my hand. The warmth of her palm made me feel incredibly at ease. After the case was over, my relationship with Xiao Ting finally became clear. Our colleagues at the bureau had already noticed, and they all started teasing us. Chen Jiao even pulled me aside, asking for wedding candy. Come on, Sui Bai watched us and smiled, offering his blessings. Xiao Ting moved out of her rental apartment and into my apartment across the hall. We started living together. In our days of being together day and night, Xiao Ting told me the reason she became a police officer was for her father, a veteran detective who died in the line of duty. She wanted to carry on his unfinished work, protecting the peace of the people. I held her and whispered in her ear, from now on, I'll guard it with you. A year later, in front of our colleagues, I proposed to Xiao Ting. Xiao Ting, I'm a forensic pathologist. I've seen life and death, but the only thing I'm afraid of is losing you. For the rest of my life, I want to be your armor, shielding you from all the storms. Will you marry me? Xiao Ting nodded, tears in her eyes. She held out her hand for me to put the ring on. In the sunlight, her smile was gentle and radiant, no longer the cold and distant look she once had. Our wedding was very simple. We only invited our families and colleagues from the bureau. Chen Jia was the maid of honor, and Song Chang was the best man. Xiao Ting and I will be het pai forever, watching over each other, holding on to the careers we love, guarding the world.